My sister emailed me 4 words. Took the breath out of my lungs. No, come to the wedding. I glanced at the screen while still holding the ticket for. The last payment I made was part of the. I paid $100,000 to make her fantasy come true. A happening. The flowers, the area, and the band, everything, since she said I had to provide her a hand. That text wasn't the part that pained me. What occurred after the mother's answer was the quiet and the mystery that was inside. The transactions were what changed everything, and the first time I used it. They had no idea it was coming. I am called. For most of my life, I've known Amanda Cole. Everyone has faith in me. Take care of business. I didn't deserve that name. Due of affection or praise. It was handed to me like you give out chores. To the youngster who won't talk back. Up. I realized early on that Spokane was a good place to grow up. There was no sign of tranquility in my family. It has to be done. My mom, Helen, used to tell everyone I was stable. The type of child who didn't need taking a peek. Lily, my younger sister, was the opposite, weak, vulnerable, and easy to harm. I can't handle it. That was what they said. Worn and feeble, like she was made of narrow glass, and I was the towel that put her in a wrap. While Lily was being soothed down, reassured, and kept safe from. I was anything even a little bit odd. The person who takes me to school. Going to school on my own journey. Forms, boiling instant noodles in the microwave. So Lily's mom could drive her. Attended an art class she had quit twice before. After weeks. Dad Rob loved us both, but he steered away from things that hurt. If he agreed with what Mom stated by being silent, he stayed quiet as a means to. Don't ask me to pick a side, I responded. The time I grew up, the pattern got stronger. Lily didn't simply get ready to help. She was in a world where aid would always be there. Also, lived in the next world. The one where owning anything was an unnecessary hassle. So when she got married, Connor says that huge, lovely, and good on Connor, I wasn't surprised when my mom contacted me that same night. She didn't ask how my day was or how work was going. The healthcare firm was going away. She left. Go right to Amanda. Lily's perfect wedding is finally going to happen. She wants something nice. You're also excellent at getting things done. That was the beginning of a 6-month era full with payments, deposits, and design calls. There are mood boards, messages from retailers, and there are a lot of drafts in the planner. I paid for the price of the garment. Lily cried. A lot of fun at the dance. She turned her back. This is it, she remarked in a whisper into her phone. The flowers from abroad, she claimed she'd always thought of holding every bill, and I got the money on my PC under the warm lighting in my Seattle kitchen apartment. I thought it was worth it. I thought I was finally doing anything that mattered to someone. They never actually looked at me. But just when I thought I was ready, I believed I bought a seed by myself. Sister's happiness changed in some way. A way that was so little it felt by mistake. Almost. It started with little things that aren't too huge that if I'd sound if I stated them out loud. Scared. A planner who didn't send me a copy. I'm talking on the phone. A designer approached Lily for. I provided the final okay even though I was the one who pays the bills. A group. The organizer who wrote her a direct email. Instead of me. At first, I brushed it. Switch off. People have stuff to do. Things go wrong. Then came Patricia. Connor's mom. We met once on video call, talk about the supper before the wedding. She smiled kindly, but her eyes stayed on him. Increasing stronger every time I talked to her, like she. Trying to figure out where I belonged. We want she said. Service should be calm and easy, no stress. She paused at the word peaceful. Like it was meant for me and not the. I didn't grasp the supply chain. In such instance, it hurt a lot in the end. Okay. About a week after that call. Realized that the planner wasn't updating the. No longer a shared folder. There are papers. Were there, but there were no new options. Happening someplace else. I texted her. She sent twice as many brief, boring texts. Said once, we'll keep Lily closely looped in. As if Lily had suddenly become the project manager was next. Never came to see me again. Lily started to act weirdly too. Short messages, late replies, and we're not enthusiastic anymore. Audio notes regarding what color tablecloths to use or desserts. I phoned one day to ask if she needed help going over the seating charts, which she had done before. Charts, something she had done previously. Asked me to do. She sighed and said. He said, I'll think about it, and then he hung up. Without waiting for me to respond. 4. Someone who contacted me and wept about. It ached like whiplash when my nail broke. The week before, things really changed. The wedding. I was in the kitchen table in Seattle where people are paying for the past couple payments when I saw your name, my phone lighted up. I grinned. Perfect for a last-minute thank you or ask for. Instead, it was a text message that was quite clear. It didn't seem genuine. Don't go to the. I read it 3 times more after the wedding. I'm seeking for further information, an explanation, a joke. A follow-up? Nothing. I phoned her. I called again, but they didn't respond. Leave a message. Finally, I texted, What's going on? 3 dots appeared. Then. Gone. Come back. Go away again. 20. Mom called after a few minutes. Amanda, she said. In a quiet voice, like she always did. Don't as frequently as she needed anything. Patricia wants you to feel horrible about it. Stay calm. You know how you can be. Lily wants everything to happen. I could feel the heat crawling up my neck. Everything I mentioned was true. You're the strong one, Mom added. Do you understand? That sentence. The one that let. I hung up before she did. They were done chatting. For the remainder of the. I sat in my dark kitchen and gazed at the wall all night. I looked at the documents on my computer. They should have been mad or sad. Or embarrassed. I didn't feel that way. Better Christmas. Because when I followed the lines of those articles, one detail stood out and pulsed like a lighthouse I have never seen that before. Every trade. Every contract, every payment, and all of anything was in my name, but I didn't do anything. That night, I went to bed. I sat in my kitchen. With only the light from my laptop and the heavy rain is hitting the window in Seattle. The wedding paperwork were all over the place. Money, bills, emails, and paid bills. I had seen them 100 times before. Never before, but not like this. The idea that I had been wiped from putting up an event. My hands were too steady all the time. I opened the first, I read the agreement for the apartment, and then I read the book months ago, and there it was daring and somewhat arrogant in its. Amanda Cole is the main singer. Only the right to cancel is held for the individual to sign. I leaned back in my. A chilly, calm feeling came over me as I sat in my chair. It was more powerful than despair and fury. Wrath. It was a taste of power I had forgotten that I still had it. My phone rang. On the counter. Mom again. I let it go. I opened the food contract after the ring. The florist and I both signed the same thing. The band, the art crew, and the photo booth, the ride service, and me. Myself, on every paper and on every spot. Lily had wanted to stroll through in white, the only one in command. It wasn't her, it was me. My heart eventually stopped pounding. Grabbed up not because they were afraid but because. At 12:47, it was almost time to get up. This morning, I started a fresh email. Kendall? I sent a letter to the person in charge of the place. I officially signed up for this event, requesting that the cancellation take effect right away. I halted for a second, took a big breath and pushed send. One email, then one more, and one more. To all suppliers. Every boss, every individual who had never said I was that clever. Sister, the answers came back faster than I imagined. Got it, understood it, and anticipated it. We'll follow the guidelines and pay back the refund. Thanks for the caution, Amanda. Don't be hesitant to ask questions. I wasn't inquiring, I was figuring out the. They always felt I was in charge. Never use. I made mine at about 2 a.m. First call to the group on the shore. The boss was a man named Food Service Personnel. Michael worked on it for weeks. Lily's perfect supper, which was answered, sounded. Amanda, everything. I'm only half awake. I said, okay, I'm getting out of it. Just state, I'm the signer. Please continue. He let out a breath, as the bargain said he would. I thought of something like this. It could happen, but we'll take care of it. Next came the florist, and finally the band. Then the relocation team showed up. Every call was the same calm, quiet voice. Thanks, the quiet hum of people in business who have seen this before. I had seen an implosion before. By 3:30 a.m., my inbox was packed. Was full with signals. The wedding quietly came apart one piece at a time. In effect, the same manner it had been created. I turned off my computer about daybreak. The sky had a pale silver tone, and Seattle is lovely, but only after a long period. I got up, stretched, and poured at night. I brewed a new cup of coffee. For the first time in years, my chest didn't ache. I feel constricted. They advised me not to come. All right, I wasn't going to the wedding. Was going to the wedding. The next morning, when I sent everything in, it appeared like the phone was melting. There were too many calls toward the border of the screen. There were a lot of voicemails waiting for them. Didn't pay attention to any of them. I always cook breakfast the same way. Eggs, bread, and black coffee for breakfast. Of peaceful habits that made me feel more steady than any type of remorse they could have brought. The first real one came about midday. The venue sent a message. The coordinator called my phone. Lily and her relatives came and begged to mend the We informed them the signer when we made the reservation. Must agree to revisions. I made it up. As she said it, my mother's smile became tighter. Patricia takes a stride, and Lily's eyes go larger. Going after him like she could get a better deal than him. Policy. Then they got another email. I'm angry. We're following the regulations. The phone down. By 3 p.m., the text changed from being bewildered to being afraid. Please call me right now, Amanda. What do you mean by mess up the wedding? It's humiliating, and you appear weak. This is what they said when they. I didn't want to deal with what they did. Didn't answer. Instead, I opened my. Placed everything together on my laptop, including emails. Buying things, keeping track of them, and canceling them. A box with the name records. Not talk, but proof. At 9 o'clock. The doorbell rang at 11 p.m., but no one appeared. I checked the. Lily. She didn't look like the version of herself that she had chosen to exhibit. Showed the globe for a long time. Her hair was frizzy, and her makeup was too thick. She didn't stretch her arms. No tears yet, but the pressure was right. There, piling up around the margins. When I answered the door, he muttered, Amanda. She sat down on the door and implored, please let me in. On the extreme edge of my couch, with her elbows on her knees. As she gripped her phone like it was. The last thing that kept her down was. Why did you do that? She said. I kept my voice steady and said, did you tell me? Don't come, she murmured, shaking her head. Not truly meant that way. Texts are. I mean it, I said to her. She looked down. A lot of fear. Patricia remarked it may be. Without you, she feels better. I couldn't help but utter these things. A little chuckle came out. It was really strong. Lily hasn't seen anything intense yet. Patricia. She turned her fingers. I didn't believe it. You would act this way. What did you think? What would I do? I asked. After paying for. She didn't say anything. In the end. She said, Mom said you wouldn't. Mind. You are strong. You know that? Again, and the one they. Armed against me. I stood up. I yelled. I signed it since I was there. Taken away because you wanted my cash. Without my permission. Her chin trembled. They stated they would bring the wedding back. Can't go on without you. Told us to get in touch with the person who signed. We had to wait in the hall like we. You were in the way. I nodded once. She blinked a lot. Amanda, could you please sign it again and put it back in? Connor's family is really furious. I said, now you want me to go. You need to call me back because you need what I have. Given, not who I am. The doorbell rang. Lily rang 3 times very rapidly. I opened it, and Mom came in. My face was tense before I spoke. With a combination of rage and yearning. Patricia was perfectly behind her. Put together, save for the rigid stance. Of someone who is having trouble keeping up. At first, Mom was in command. Amanda. Marie Cole, what does this mean? What did it signify when I crossed my arms? She lost it and called off the wedding. You made us seem horrible by deleting me. I said, first, and Mom waved her hand. Did what we had to do to keep things running. Calm. You broke the peace, I said, you took me out of the wedding. I paid for it. Patricia stepped up. Voice cut off. We required a smooth. You make things harder on the environment. Stared at her and said, this is how I feel. Totally great. She tripped, but. You've become better. Your actions demonstrate that we. I emphasized again that I was worried about how I was acting. Courteous cancellations. In the meanwhile, I told everyone I was going to lose it. She looked aside, but Mom didn't. Amanda, fix this, she urged with her arms crossed. When I stated that, Lily's voice cracked. The site says, you're the only one. Someone who can say it's okay for the return. They told us to ask you. When she said ask, her voice cracked. Hadn't asked me for anything up till this point. Then ask, I said, besides money. Ask the right way, she murmured softly. Not simple. Amanda, please sign it. No. She slumped to the ground as her knees gave out. Mom gasped a little. Patricia. It became rigid. Why are you? Lily murmured. Why are you treating me this way? I told you I wouldn't hurt you. Something for me. There was a lot of quiet. I put the finish on the room and then. I had just practiced the sentence in my thoughts. I got thrown out of your wedding, so. I dropped your wedding off my list of things to do. Moms. Patricia lost her temper and struggled for breath. Lily said. Broken. I said, no more calls. I'm not going to utilize my strength as your reason. Mom grabbed for me, but I stepped back and said, go away. At me, expecting for something like that to happen. I tried to get them to stop, but they didn't. In the end, they went away slowly, stunned. Beaten, hurrying to construct a new one. Of the narrative to everyone in the globe. I let out a sigh when the door closed. Freedom, not triumph. A life at last. Given back to the person who possessed it in the. For the following 2 days, things were a chaos around the wedding was called off, which was louder than. I had never felt anything like that before. Things went quite quiet in my world. My Seattle apartment felt different, almost lighter, like I was lifting myself off of their ambitions and had finally opened a. I didn't know the window was closed. Sellers continued providing confirmations, handling accounts, sending messages, and giving reimbursements. Closed and finished accounts for each line. Affirmed what I had done in my. It wasn't a big deal or a breakdown, it was simply a lady receiving back what she gave away. Much too simple. My mom attempted to call for a week straight. I didn't respond. The message didn't sound as harsh and more. She seemed to not get it. How the girl who never pushed back had learned all of a sudden. Back had learnt how all of a sudden. I found a place where there used to be noise. Went back to visit doctor and started therapy again. Marlene's workplace was pleasant and quiet. A clock and some light. For the first. I didn't say anything about Lily or my mom. I informed her about me and what I do. Things I didn't want anymore. It was unusual yet nice. It's like entering a room that was built specifically for you. I also joined a group for women who work in IT. There is a training group on Wednesday nights. Become the nicest part of my week. Who was clear and asked directly. Didn't injure each other for having rules. I learned how to say no. I learned how to express I'm sorry without. Don't be scared to ask for stuff. I started for the first time ever. Not because I'm mad, but because I want to. Not being clear. A month later, it was peaceful on Sunday morning, so I wandered along. A dark coffee and a view of Lake Union. And learned something fresh and simple. At last, my life felt like mine. Taken without permission, not shaped. In the middle of an emergency for someone else. In the end, Lily did send a letter, but desire to beg for money, not the returning to the wedding, simply wanted to let you know what she broke and what she couldn't mend. I didn't forgive her immediately away. Things need space, time, and honesty. Before they can be put back together. At one point, it was my decision, not. I felt like I had to do something, and. Okay, so that's what you mean, right? They aren't punishments, they're doorways you can open. Keep it near so that tranquility can last. Did you ever had a family on your back till it was gone? Tell your tale below. At last. If this touched home for you, don't forget to join up for the next one.